What up, sports fans all over the world? It's your boy Mac, the Giants fan, here with my guys, the Horsemen, Adam Costas, Zion Zenith. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for the Premium Takes Podcast. Let's go!
Thank you, Mac, for that amazing intro. Premium Takes intro back in your guys' lives, and Premium Takes host and co-hosts back in your life as well. As a wonderful Thursday afternoon. Thank you, everybody, for joining us as we trickle in. I know we had a short two-week VK hiatus, what they call it. But that being said, we are back 2 weeks from the draft. Hopefully everybody's doing good today while we get into some Giants rumors, Giants things, and then focus mostly on the draft. As you guys see the background, Giants focused show today, talking mostly everything New York Giants related, also NFL as well. And trickle in, maybe, you know what we're going to do? We're going to trickle in little topics of the tournament winner in March Madness, maybe talk to Mac about, about 5 to 10 minutes about how and Adam too, because I know he's an avid baseball fan. How's things looking at the start of the baseball season? Playoffs is around the corner for basketball. That's when basketball actually gets fun to watch. But let's begin with rumors. Wouldn't be Giants fans if you don't talk about the biggest rumor is well, it's not really a rumor, but it's confirmed that Dexter Lawrence brought it to the media's attention, made it public that he wants to trade. I want to get the boys' opinions on that subject first, but before we do, I'm just gonna lay the landscape out. One of the best, if not the best, tackle in football. Over the last 8 years, absolutely has risen to be respected by every player. Not even hardcore fans, but casuals know his name. Maybe your person in your life that you never think of watching football knows Dexter Lawrence, and obviously his dominance on the football field. I think he's the most guy in the NFL right now that gets the double coverage and triple coverage. Dexter Lawrence there's not another human in the National Football League that doesn't have more hands on them outside of Dexter Lawrence and paws on the hands. But that being said, making as far as last time I checked, about the 11th to the 13th place on DT. I mean, when he's seeing all these guys getting paid, that is clearly worse. Worse is not a word, but you guys below his talent, he kind of wants to be respected in his money like we all do at our daily jobs. That being said, though, I want to get Mac's point on it first. What you feel about Dexter Lawrence? What do you feel like the Giants should do? I know we're always going to field phone calls for trades, not leave anything on the table. But let's go over to you, Mac, then pass it over to Adam. Let's go right ahead.
Well, I think John Harbaugh said it best the other day, man. He said everybody's tradable. He said everybody's tradable. So, I mean, you got to at least listen to offers. Got to at least listen, because if the right offer comes, then, as much as I would love to keep Dex around, because I just love the kind of player that he is. And I think people are way too hard on him for having one down year. I mean, and honestly, it was a down year for a player like him, but it was still a pretty solid year for most players. Will still take what Dex was able to do even last year. So the reality is, you gotta listen to the offers. You gotta field the offers. You gotta think about it. I mean, it's the nature of the business. But you can see it from Dexter's standpoint as well. He deserves to get paid more. There's just no reason in the world that Jordan Davis should be making more money than Dexter Lawrence. They're not even on the same level right now at playing the same position. I'm sorry. Jordan Davis might have, he turned it around a little bit and got, he got better. He started coming along, but he's not the player Dexter Lawrence is. Why? Dexter Lawrence is not even a top 10 paid defensive tackle right now. That's a little bit disrespectful. I mean, honestly, I know he's coming off a down year, so people might, make the argument that he doesn't have much leverage to negotiate right now a big contract, but the player that Dex is, man. What he brings to the table. And I'd hate to see a guy like him, after suffering his whole entire career with the Giants thus far, being pretty much just on a losing team his entire career, right when it's looking like things are turning around, and now he's going to miss that ride. You know what I mean? He still got a lot of football left in him. But I mean, other than the fact that you got to entertain the offers, I'd rather them get something done and keep Dex around, man, because I think that guy is a centerpiece of this defense, and our defense is definitely not going to be better without him. I mean, that's just facts. So you're not going to find a rookie that's going to replace what Dexter Lawrence is doing right now. It's just not. That's not going to be a thing. So yeah, that's just how I feel about it. I mean, you got to entertain the offers, at least listen and see what teams are talking about. Because the right offer, hey, peace out, Dex. See you later, man. But let's just see what's going on. But I'd rather keep him around. That's how I feel about it. I'd rather keep him around because I think he adds something special to this defense.
Well said. Let's get Adam's opinion, and then we'll come back around. I'll say my place, and I'll come back around with a follow-up question. Go right ahead, Adam.
Well, Dexter Lawrence, I'm sorry that they're treating you like this, but it's business. And he signed a $60 million deal a couple years ago. We knew this would happen. The Giants anticipated him being good, so they got ahead of it by signing a deal. Now, last year, they wanted to work, they wanted to do some magic with their draft picks. And so when they did that, last year he should have been able to hold out. He didn't hold out. So it makes you wonder, why didn't they get the deal done early after the 9-sack season? If there was I understand Dex's point of playing last year. And if you're injured, then it's okay to sit out. And I think what he needed to do was sit out, get healthy, and come back and have more of an impact. Then this year, it's a different story in the offseason. However, what ended up happening was, sorry, I'm just getting a little feedback from your mic. That's all. That's why I put it on mute. What I think happened here is he was made some promises. The promises weren't kept. The new regime came in, and who's still a GM? Joe Schoen. So Joe Schoen, who we all know likes to play hardball, is probably doing this for him. Now, as for me, personally, I think Dexter Lawrence is a great player. Do I think he should have been paid? Yes. I don't think he has much of a leg to stand on now because he had a down year. The Giants have all the leverage. They have 2 years left in them. Now, they could probably either roll that over and make it one giant year contract of $40 million just this year. They could do many things, but I don't think they're going to pay him top dollar like he wants, even if quote unquote Jordan Davis got paid. Jordan Davis, they won the Super Bowl and they paid him. That's what happens when you win Super Bowls. They do that for you. They pay you big money on teams. And he did have a bit of an impact, going forward as well. So guys get paid when the iron is hot. Right now, he's not hot. I know what he was trying to do last year. I think he hurt himself by playing. If he had stayed out and held out last year like Micah Parsons or whatever, and you could have said that he wasn't physically ready, he could have came back after week 8 or 9, fully got in shape, fully gotten healthy in the last 9 or 10 games, he could have showed you that he was Dexter Lawrence. Then he comes back here with an actual leg to stand on. And I think right now he's in a quandary of what to do. And my only gripe is, why didn't the Giants get this done earlier? It's bad enough that you let it drag out here, but once you start to get into the media and start let the media help you in negotiations, sometimes you're as good as gone, right? And let's be honest, he is practicing with a Giants helmet on, so you are seeing him do that and do that type of stuff. So I don't think he wants to leave, quote unquote, the Giants. But if you're doing this trade thing, make it stand on 10 toes. Don't just do it because you're trying to get paid. Because if I'm him, I don't need to. If I'm him, why do I need to do that unless I'm real? Like, if you really want to get traded, then we might possibly trade you. Because if he, let's say he's wearing his helmet and his thoughts are that he's not gonna be traded, then like Max said, some team like the Chicago Bears gives you their first round pick this year, right? And the second round pick this year, or third round pick this year, and a second round pick next year, and you pull like a Quinton Williams type deal, right? How are the Giants going to say no to that? You can easily get another impact player on the defense if you want in the draft, right? There are a lot of still good players, top 100. We've seen guys contribute. I'm not saying with the impact of Dexter Lawrence, but what was Dexter Lawrence's impact last year? He wasn't really that spectacular, right? If you're giving me Dexter Lawrence level of play, there's a guy from Ohio State that's pretty good in the defensive tackle room that I can pull out, and he can do some things, right? So I don't want to take away what Dexter Lawrence has done. I think he's a top defensive tackle, but don't put that out there and then be disappointed when they actually do trade your ass because you're either getting more money from another team, whoever that might be, or the Giants take you up in your offer. Because if you did this negotiation behind closed doors and just said I'm holding out for a new contract, respect, homie, respect. You could have just said that. I'm not showing up until I got a new contract. Instead, you said I want to be traded, which now means the Giants and other teams who heard this, honestly, Adam Schefter, people were telling me on the space, oh, teams can't negotiate because he didn't request a trade. What do you think putting it out there with Adam Schefter is? That's essentially letting other teams know, give us a call. We're open. We're here. And in the horizon of the draft that's coming over the horizon, right, that we're about to start, people are going to get desperate. Teams like the Rams and teams like the Chicago Bears and other teams of that ilk who might only need a defensive tackle in their defense. Well, what if Kansas City says to you, you know what? I want Dexter Lawrence. We'll give you our first next year and, a second this year to move up to spot number, 5 to pick Ruben Bain and, or whoever other insert said player there, right? Because they want him. And then, boom, they got Dexter Lawrence. Their defense is now bad. They can put him up next to Chris Jones. Not saying this is happening. I'm saying hypothetically, right? What does the Jaguars tell you? You know what? We have our first-round pick, Brian Thomas, and a second pick next year. Like, the Giants need a receiver, right? They need a long-term receiver. Why not bring back the LSU teammate and have Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors out there with Darnell Mooney in your slot and Calvin Austin being your return man? I mean, there are many things the Giants can do here to better themselves. And if I'm Dexter Lawrence, I have to look at the team as a whole and say, are they winning next year? Because if they're not winning next year, I don't want to waste another year beating myself up and staying here. Now, I'm going to land the plane. If I was John Harbaugh, this is what I would do. I would walk up to Dexter Lawrence and I'd be like, look, you got 2 years left on your contract. Last year was a down year. We have a new system. Come and play, and I promise you got my word that if you hit the numbers that you hit, I will give you your contract next year, right? No questions asked, just got to play. Now, he may not want to do that for whatever reason, and I understand it. But to me, that's a fair deal. You're going to give him a chance this year to prove it. If he does what he does, great. If not, at that point, you could talk trade, you could talk cutting him, you could talk whatever, because the Giants don't lose any cap money, right? And they're also going to have a bigger cap next year when a lot of these salaries come off. So if you're thinking about it, I can give you a bigger chunk of change next year when the salary cap is bigger and I have more money to play with. All you got to do is believe in me. Now, if Harbaugh is as good as we think he is, that will resonate with Dexter Lawrence. You're on mute.
Well said, well said. Yeah, this is definitely something you don't want to see with a new regime coming in, but it can't be all ups. You have to have ups and downs, and the New York Giants has been hitting it out of the ballpark when it comes to free agents, when it comes to our coaching staff that they assembled, and then you have obviously a down with Dexter Lawrence. I like it though, and I respect it. I get where he's coming from, and I honestly think it gets handled in the way of, I think he does hold out. I think he does. He wants what's his, and especially what Adam said as well. Looking at this year on the DT line, it's not. I mean, like the edges, it's deep. But when you look at the interior, there is going to be a desperate team that is going to want to give you more than what he is kind of valued at. And if we can pull off a miracle type of trade, that's why, like Max said, you have to take the calls, you have to do your job. I think as far as John goes, he's definitely involved, but only to a certain point. I know this really falls, and it's putting the pressure back on Joe Shane. And as far as Joe Shane goes, you have to what's up, the Giants topic? Thank you for being here, my friend. You have to not mess this one up, right? If you have to be a businessman and but not let your ego come in here and fuck it up. What I mean by that is don't let him walk for too cheap and don't lowball him because this is a future Hall of Fame player, and every time we Giants left, whether it be McKinley, whether it be at Love, whether it be at Barkley, no matter, they always do better on another team, right? And I can see Dexter going to another team, and I still do believe that he has some of his best years ahead of him. Yes, coming off of a not so good year last year. He was injured, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for the guy, but that I know he is probably super excited to play under this coaching staff and what the roster has assembled. But that being said, though, what do you guys want? Like, as far as like, what is a reasonable salary for Dexter that you guys will be comfortable paying him, and what would you guys want to receive to see Dexter Lawrence play in another jersey next year? I'll begin. I think he's respectable of 28 to kind of 31 kind of salary. I know we can manipulate the cap. I know you can move it around. The cap is fake if you really look at around the league and what other teams in our fucking division can do with it. So really, there's ways to do it, and that's what separates the people, the GMs that's playing 3D chess, and then the GMs that's just playing basic checkers. The good GMs can manipulate the cap, and I honestly think as much mistakes as he made, Joe Shane is closer to a good GM than he is a bad GM. It's right there in the middle, and this is really going to prove it for him. So I think you respect him. You pay him what he kind of wants to be paid. Now, if he's coming like, yeah, I wanna get 36, I want to get 35, 36, 38, then that's when I'm like, okay, let's meet in the middle. And if we can't, then that's when we have to move on from him. What I would want to receive if we did trade Dexter Lawrence has to be a number one. I would want it to be this year, but if it is next year, it has to be number one in multiple picks, obviously, but it has to be a number one, whether it be this year or next year. If it is this year, then we can kind of maybe a first round this year, maybe a third round next year, and maybe another player. You know what I'm saying? Maybe another player on the roster that we trade him to. Or maybe we get a number 3 this year. Maybe we get a number 1 next year, and then maybe we get another player. The reason why I'm putting a player involved is I'm not really a genius when it comes to like how much picks should go for a certain player, but I know that if a team comes out and they offer 2 number 1s and then a 5th and a 4th, I know that is high, and I would entertain it depending on where those number 1s are, because you build a team through the draft. We got 8 years out of Dexter Lawrence. I think he's not going anywhere. I think he's going to be a New York Giants this next couple of years, and for the future, I think we renegotiate and we come up with a good agree and we get it done. But if we was to trade him, that's what I would want. Go right ahead, Mac, and then pass back over to Adam.
Look, the conversation starts at first round pick right there. If you're not even coming with that, then we don't even have to have there's no more reason to continue the conversation. So it starts at a first round pick. I don't know about maybe necessarily this year, but get the first round next year. Like I said, you got third round. We would definitely love to get back into the third round of this draft, get a third round pick for this year. You know, things like that. I mean, potentially, and obviously you still need even a little more than that. I mean, throw some more picks in there, however you want to finagle it. But that's the conversation starts at first round pick, point blank, and period. It's like there's no conversation to be had if we're not talking about a first round pick. But as far as the salary, man, look, I don't think he should be getting that. I don't think he should shoot up above Chris Jones. I really don't. I believe he should be somewhere right below Chris Jones, though, and above Jordan Davis and Milton Williams. He should be above those guys because he's better than those guys. He should be getting paid more money than those guys because he's better at what he does than those guys are. I don't care about what teams they're on and what success their teams have had. That to me, it's about the player at this point. And the player that Dex is a better player than those guys, and there's no reason why they should be making more money than him by a lot. And it's by a lot, not by a little bit. It's by a lot amount more money than Dexter Lawrence is making. So I think looking anywhere in that 28 to 30 range, somewhere like that for Dex, I mean, Chris Jones set the bar really, really high. I don't think he should jump over Chris Jones, but I think he should be pretty much right below him. And as far as that goes, but yeah, but if we're talking about a trade, like I said, the conversation definitely starts at a first round pick. Like I said, point blank and period. When you look at what the Jets got for Kenyon Williams, come on now. The conversation over Dex definitely starts at a first round pick. And go from there.
Well said. Adam, if you're Joe Shane, what would you max your salary cap at? And if you was to trade him, what would you want?
Well, for salary, I don't think he's getting more than $30 million, period. He can ask 35, and if he wants 35, goodbye, because I think you can get value in drafts. And I think the Giants want that. I think they're interested. There's rumors about them wanting to trade out and things like that. They want to build a team. If you look around their team, they have a lot of one-year players and a lot of young guys. So there's not a lot of veterans everywhere. Now, do I say get rid of your good players? No, I don't want to get rid of Dexter Lawrence. It's not me saying to get rid of Dexter Lawrence. However, business is a business. And, you got to draw a line in the sand where you're like, all right, what you could do is, if you're really smart, you said 3D chess, how about you say, look, we'll give you $30 million guaranteed with the escalators if you hit certain sack numbers to get to $35 million a year, right? To add incentives to the contract where you're not losing money. You're like, all right, well, we'll pay you, let's go 29.5, right? And if you hit 10 sacks, you'll get another $2 million. If you get another 10 sacks, so upwards of $37 million, right? So you're the highest paid defensive end or defensive tackle, but you have to hit certain incentives. Like last year, they had Russell Wilson have certain incentives where you can get up to $13 million, right? But he was guaranteed 10 at the very least. I think there's incentives in Mooney's contract as well to get incentives. So if you want to structure it like that, I would say, listen, Zach, how about $29 to $30 million over the next 2 years, get $60 million guaranteed with the chance to add another $10 million to get about $70 million in total, right? If he says yes to that, then you're good to go. If he says, no, I'm $35 million, I need to get paid higher, because obviously you got to get paid. Like Chris Jones, he can't get paid higher than, but you got to look at it like now, the next person to get paid is always gets paid higher than the last guy, regardless of how it works, right? So Dexter Lawrence is not going to say, well, I'm going to take $30 million because of that. He's going to want, and he deserves to maximize his number. So we'll see how that negotiation goes, but there are things for him to do. As far as compensation, the bottom line for me is the Quinnen Williams deal from the Cowboys. I need at least a first-round pick and a second-round pick either this year, or a first-round pick next year and a second-round pick this year. I don't care how I get it. I don't care the order that they come in, but that's the standard that I want right there, right? That's the deal. Quinnen Williams is arguably, tied or around the caliber of player. Some argue he's better. He was at one point. Some argue Dexter Lawrence is better. They're both very good D tackles at their positions. Therefore, if you look at what he got, that's where my starting point is. Now, if you want to throw in more and whatnot, fine, that's fine. But the Giants don't have a third-round pick, granted, because of Jackson Dart. So I would like to get another pick, whether it's a second first-round pick, a second-round pick, or even a third throw-in that you're going to give me your first this year, a third this year, and a second next year. Boom, I can do that as well, because I do believe the production they got from him last year, they can get that with a committee. Now, the pass rush and what he's going to bring home, you would want to see that. Like we always talk about Odell and what he could have been with a new quarterback, or what Barkley could have been on this roster. Well, we have a chance to see what Dexter Lawrence could be with a guy like maybe Sonny Styles, right? So if you are a front office member and you have a chance to possibly get a Sonny Styles, and somebody calls you up for Dexter Lawrence, you might have to say, you know what, man, I'm just going to let him ride this out because I want to see how this defense plays out. Because I know Mac will be juiced, but if you're all in with that team, that really changes the narrative, right? And so we'll see. We'll see how serious Dexter Lawrence is in terms of getting the highest payday, and we'll see, where the Giants are. So we'll go from there.
Well said. What's up, G Nation? Just entered the chat. We'll definitely get you a link here soon and bring you on as a special guest for a bit. And you can end the show with us talking about the draft. That being said, let's get into A player that we actually acquired, Dexter Lawrence, from a pick when we traded away, OBJ. You like that? You like that transition? That being said, though, OBJ, the words on the street is he wants to be a New York Giant again. He wants to play in the NFL again. I'm not really tapped into OBJ and what he's been doing lately, but what I did tap into was the flag football operation that they just did at Fanatics. And I was gonna say, Mac, if you don't mind sending G Nation a link here in a bit for he can hop in if you guys don't mind. That being said, though, speaking of what he did at Fanatics, he was the best player on the football field outside of the flag footballs. Don't laugh at me, guys. Don't laugh at me. I know you can laugh. You can laugh, honestly. But it's not like, bro. I know. Hold on.
I'm sorry. How can you tell somebody not to laugh? And your statement is he was the best player on a flag football team. I mean,
for the NFL. Okay, no, I said that kind of. I came. What I meant was there's professional athletes on the football field, the NFL players, and he's arguably the best one among all of them. Yes, there's streamers like, so-called Speed and Logan and stuff, and there's the actual flag football players, but watching the competition and absolutely flag football, like it's just different. Obviously, it's not physical as much as you guys get what I'm saying. It's flag football, but it's just a different game, right? It's a different game. And yes, it's easy to look at OBJ it is a different game and be like, damn, he looks really good playing flag football. And most of these flag football players, I'm not trying to diss them or anything. Not gonna go there. That being said, though, OBJ, what I've seen is, you know what? Bring him in a training camp. Bring him in the training camp. You know why? Because it creates a veteran. I think he's a way more mature than he was when he last played for us. I watch a lot of movies, so I love that happy book ending. Why not finish your career where you started your career? Already won a championship, so he is always going to be chasing another one. But he's in a better place right now, right? And you look at the wide receivers we bought in.
Obituary.
And we look at the wide receivers we bought in. Okay, it's not like outside of Moody, because I really do like him. It's not like Kelvin was out there doing works for the Steelers. I don't think he should get a number one or a number two spot. But if you do bring him in and say he makes the team, he can be that veteran in the room that can help these young wide receivers that maybe we draft maybe in the second, and so forth. Just be that veteran. Be that, hey, I was like for Malik. Look what he could do for Malik, because you damn know sure that Malik, all these guys, they looked up to that. All these LSU guys looked up to him, right? And when you come from the same university, that just creates like LSU type shit. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, I'm gonna pass the mic over to Mac. I want to get his thoughts on OBJ. Then I want to remove this widget so we can see our brother Lou, and then we're gonna get your thoughts, and then we're gonna pass it over to Lou and get his thoughts on both Dexter Lawrence and OBJ. So go right ahead, Mac. Thoughts on OBJ? I'm not saying number 3, not even number 4, but just the body in training camp. Go right ahead, Mac.
A wasted body.
I've said a lot about OBJ, and look, all he do is, man, look, mentors. But are we looking for mentors right now on this team? Not for a roster spot. Right now these roster spots are valuable, bro. And
played with John Harbaugh in Baltimore.
He did.
John Harbaugh.
He did. He did 14 games and he got 500 yards, 500 and some yards. I mean, I love him. I love everything he did. I don't want to sound like I'm coming down on the guy because I love OBJ. I got his Rookie of the Year plaque. Got the hat. OBJ catching the pass in Dallas in MetLife against Dallas on the brim. I got that on the brim of the hat. You know what I mean? I'm a fan. I got another hat. Shit, I might got it right here. See, look what that right there say. That say Beckham Jr. 13, baby. Beckham Jr. I love the guy. I do. But I don't think I want him on this football team now. Not the OBJ that he is now. I mean, do I gotta just keep doing this? I'm sorry. I gotta put it up there again, man. That's real to me. That's what are we really adding there?
That's
look at
him
those
trying to
numbers-
figure out his second half of his career. And now that he's no longer playing, he misses it. Maybe he comes back rejuvenated.
Look, I know he's
Now
a great
that we found love, what are we gonna do?
look,
Fuck
I
that.
know he's a great athlete, but
Yeah.
at the same time,
He's on PGs.
he's not the guy that we're used to seeing when we see him in that uniform.
Adam said he's on PEDs.
He's not going to be that same dude. He's not going to be close to that. I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, I even listening to him talk. He says all the right things. Like, I know I'm not coming to be nobody's number one receiver. I'm just, but you're not even going to be two.
A foot ornament? Like, what are we talking about?
You're not even going to be 2 or 3 either. So it's like at that point, like you mentioned earlier, Adam. Once you're lower than that on a depth chart, brother, you need to be contributing on special teams, and pretty sure you ain't signing up for that either. So it's as cool as it would be for like just that fan perspective. Sure, OBJ, yeah.
The WWE, we bring back the old guys.
As far as like football, like serious business right now, serious New York Giant business, I just don't see it. I just don't see it being a good move right now. If he wants to contend on playing still, wish him the best of luck. Just go do it somewhere else. And yeah, I mean that's just all. I mean, look, that's it. I love the guy, but just we don't need that right now. We're building something different here in New York.
So,
well said, Matt. Go ahead, Adam.
We're basing OBJ's evaluation off a flag football game against scrubs. I mean,
no. We're basing it off of what we seen, the vintage of the catch.
You
gotta look at the vintage of the hands catching the paws. You get what I'm saying, though? That's what.
This is the problem with
if OBJ's running routes, you have to respect them.
You know what? I heard
the team's gonna have to put someone on him that frees up space.
I'm gonna call up Michael Strahan. Hell, we need a running back. I'm gonna call up Ahmad Bradshaw. I think Braden Jacobs looks like he's in fucking shape. Maybe I can put a helmet on him too. I mean, what are we gonna do? When is this going to end? This fucking, this bringing back Giant. Once a Giant, always a Giant. Kiss my ass, all right? This guy looks desperate. He looks like he's on the corner of a street corner and said, "I'll do whatever it takes to get some crack, man." I wanted to keep it PG, but if you know what I'm saying, he will do anything, get on his knees to be on this team. That's what it looks like. All right, he's giving a handy to John Harbaugh under the table at the owners' meetings. Like, what are we talking about here?
Shit.
Care that OBJ wants to come back. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. Oh, well, we had a great conversation. What, you have phone sex? What are we talking about? I don't care about OBJ coming here. As for our fifth receiver, why do I need that guy dancing around doing nothing on the sideline? I know the Giants don't have cheerleaders, but God forbid OBJ is the first cheerleader. I mean, we need actual cheerleaders. I don't need a guy coming in here trying to resurrect his endorsement career because he left and went to Cleveland and hasn't seen a commercial since he's left the New York Giants. Okay. And he had a great Super Bowl that did nothing for him. It didn't parlay him any other money because he blew out his fucking knee. And then he was so great that he had to take fucking PEDs he was suspended for. So he was suspended, and not one person brought his ass in. So now we have to be the one that's like, oh, yeah, bring him back, bring him through the door. He could be a fifth receiver, be a mentor. Mentor for who? Who was he mentoring? Darius fucking Slayton? You know who Darius Slayton can mentor? He's like, hey, man, I got another spot on the bench for you if you want to steal money from the Giants. I've been doing this for the last 5 years. This is how I do it. You can join me on the bench. He does nothing. If you tell me he's coming in to play punt return and kick return, okay, maybe I'll entertain the idea. But if he's coming in here and you're going to say, let's bring him in for training camp, great. You can bring me in. I'll be the fucking mascot. I'll dye my hair fucking blonde and run around the fucking team. I got the same fucking locks as fucking Odell Beckham Jr. We can do the same fucking shit. Strap me on a 13 jersey. He's not getting his number back because Jalen Hyatt, who already takes up a fucking spot, who probably won't be here if everything breaks right, will not be here. And then I got to listen to the reporters talk to OBJ about nothing when Darnell Mooney's out there catching passes. I got to listen to OBJ and what fragrance he's wearing in the shower. Like, what are we talking about? I'm sorry. I'm done with this fucking shit. I don't need to know that he uses lavender fucking soap in the shower. I'm done with him. Go find a job, go on NFL Network, go on NFL broadcasting team, and go do what every other fucking ex-NFL athlete does and get a job talking, okay? You sitting over here talking to me about fucking, what is he going to do? High five Eli Manning? Nobody's on his team from there. He got Eli. You know what? That's what he wants to do. He wants to parlay his Giant career into an internship in the front office. That's what he's going to be. He's going to be sitting next to Eli Manning. He'd be Eli Manning's assistant. There you go. Bring back OBJ. He could be Eli Manning's assistant. And they both can go over and have a talk with Sean O'Hara on that fucking Eli Manning show. Boom. Got it. There you go. Production assistant, Odell Beckham Jr. Hire him.
You know what? I can't wait if you bring him in and he makes the team. We're not going to bring him in, obviously. This is just a bit. But he brings him in and he catches a touchdown and then Adam's going to cheer for him. I can't wait for that. And LSU type shit, Adam. Malik Neighbors, look up to this guy. You know what I'm saying? Malik Neighbors is making his own road, obviously. But, you know, mentorship. That being said, Lou will probably agree with you guys, but I will want to get his take as well as Dexter Lawrence. Go ahead, OBJ Lou, and then what's your thoughts about Dexter Lawrence?
What's going on, fellas? Thanks for having me. It's been a long time since I've seen Adam go scorched earth. Last time I seen him do that was in reference to Daniel Jones.
That pile of rubble's way back there.
But nah, I don't even want to touch on the OBJ subject because I believe, you know, while the nostalgic thought of it sounds great as a fan, we really need playmakers. We have a lot of holes to fill, and we can't afford to be using roster spots on nostalgia. But the more important thing is Dexter Lawrence. At the end of the day, you can say what you want about his play last season. He was disgruntled. He had an injury. He didn't give it his all because he was mad at Shane or whatever, right? There's theories out there. Who knows other than him, Shane and the creator. Bottom line is there's not a defensive tackle in this draft that can replace Dexter. There's not a free agent out there that can replace Dexter. And as good as I think Darius Alexander could be, he's not Dexter Lawrence. So at the end of the day, if you let that man walk, you have no plan, no foreseeable answer to the problem you create by removing him from that front line. He's taking pay restructures to keep some whack-ass people here that shouldn't have been here to begin with. I believe one of them was to sign that tight end that caught one pass for $72 million. Darren Waller, what was it? Darren Waller? No. It was that wide receiver that caught one pass, $72 million. I can't remember his name. He was so trash. Anyway. Yes, Galladay. Trash ass. Anyway. You got to pay Dexter Lawrence, man. At the end of the day, this is squarely on Joe Shane. You let Barkley go and got nothing for him, and not only that, you let him go to our rival, who we have to face twice a year, right? You got rid of Leo, he wins the Super Bowl. Barkley wins the Super Bowl. All these guys that left here went and prospered. This man has stayed here and taken pay restructure after pay restructure, after regime change, after regime change, after losing season, you know, and probably was told, hey, we'll get you on the back end, or I'll get you back. We'll square it up on the new deal. And now you want to try to weasel your way out of it, Mr. Joe Shane. I still do not understand for the life of me why this fucking bum is still here. He can't evaluate talent. He does not know how to draft. He is not good with the personnel or the staff or the players, because you wouldn't be having this communication breakdown and these negotiations for 2 years where he's been trying to get paid, right? So this is squarely on Joe Shane. He should have been gone with Dable. And in my opinion, if Dexter ends up leaving, Joe Shane should go with him.
I agree with you on Joe Shane.
I 100% agree with that statement.
I think that's what's holding this up, to be honest with you. I think we need to factor in Joe Shane's role in this, because I agree with Lou. Maybe I want to know what would have happened if they fired Joe Shane and brought a new GM. Are we at this point? Do we get to Dexter Lawrence saying, I want to trade? Or does he say that day one? Like, that's what I would want to know. Because if he's deemed disgruntled because Joe Shane is doing what Joe Shane does, being a hoe, okay, and do hoe things, they call him Hoe Shane for a reason, right? This is what we're talking about. When you're nickel and dime, why did all those guys leave? Those guys didn't leave because we wanted them to leave. They left because they were getting shortchanged here. And there were spiteful things going on. Julian Love wanted to explore free agency, which he's allowed to do. But Joe Shane got spiteful and then pulled the offer off the table for the guy so he doesn't come back. Okay? He did Leo Williams a solid by saying, hey,
hoe-ass move.
Hoe-ass move. Right? McKinney, same thing. He didn't want to pay him as the highest paid safety. What did that guy go and do? Wanted to be an all-pro. You didn't want to pay an all-pro safety who you basically, his hand, he basically gets into an accident on the ATV, right? Comes back, understands that he needs to have a good season, and probably there's agreement in place saying, hey, man, you come back, we'll revisit this, and then you shortchange him. There's a reason why Joe Shane, or I'm going to call him Ho Shane because somebody coined that term, right? There's a reason why Ho Shane got a D from the players. There's a literal survey that gave him a D. And part of it is we hated Gettleman, right, for his obnoxious way of dealing with players. Well, Joe Shane's the opposite. He puts a value on the player and then, tries to
doesn't pay.
But the one guy he didn't nickel and dime, he opened the purse strings to a lousy quarterback, right? So, but then when you actually have good players like a Barkley, like a McKinney, like a Dexter Lawrence, we get this contract disputes. You know, a guy he should have got rid of? Kayvon Thibodeau. Guy, you could have sent him flying, right? That guy you clearly know he's not going to be here long term. That's a guy you should be on the phones with, not Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence should be a guy that you're bending over backwards saying, hey, man, we love you. We want you to be here. We don't want you to be disgruntled. Give me some time. Well, if that's the case and he knows that Joe Shane is here, then he knows that he's good as gone because Joe Shane is doing his thing. Now, my theory with Joe Shane is he's keeping the seat warm for Don Aponte, which people don't forget is Don Aponte came in from the NFL offices, right? So I don't know how much player personnel she technically has with a team. She understands that with, drafting players and all that through being part of the collegiate draft and the NFL offices. I think what he's doing is kind of being how you have a trainer at your job when you know that person's leaving and they only got like a few weeks left, but they have to show the other person the ropes. That's kind of what I think Joe Shane is doing here. Getting through the draft, getting through this free agency period, and then they're going to be like, hit the road, Jack.
Shit, I don't even want him affiliated with none of that. I'd rather take a few mistakes on her first draft without his influence than him have any of his fingerprints on anything. He's a bum.
Well, it allows you to have her
two-bit hack.
It allows you to have her be shielded, right? Because I agree with you. Let her make her mistakes. I get that. But at the same time, if the mistakes are made, she can be like, this wasn't my thought process, right? And then
Harbaugh's there to guide her. He learned under a great GM in Baltimore, so we don't need Shane. Fix the Dexter Lawrence thing, turn in your key card and get the hell out of here.
I agree with you, but let me just put it this way. What I've heard is that it's hard to switch personnel for the scouting part and this portion of the offseason. Right. So that's the only reason I'm saying that he's probably keeping the seat warm, because the scouts that she wants, she can't pluck from other teams yet because they're in the middle of this off season. A lot of them can't be.
I got moved, you.
Right. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
One thing too.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Adam.
I'm just saying, you can't not. I don't want Joe Shane here as much as the next guy, but I think that's what they're trying to do. Is like, you've never been a GM. This is what the GM duties are. This is how things are handled. And then when he fails and they don't bring him back after the draft, or they don't renew his contract and they let him get expired, guess what? She's been there a year to deal with a whole season, a whole off season, and then next year she can take the reins without having to, be baptism by fire and make mistakes because she was already kind of guided that way. That's just my thought.
I do agree with what you guys are saying about Shane. And like, if you look at it too, what I do like this year, right, with her being here, is when he was asked that question about Dexter at his interview, he said it's up to, we're gonna, that's Joe and that's Don's expertise. Let them handle it. And it's with everything, right? You look at our offensive coordinator coming on and saying, oh, it's all of us. We have all these ex-coaches that's gonna build this. And even with them, it's like, it's not just Joe Shane. Joe Shane's not just him and a coach with Brian Badel, and Brian Dable's not a John fucking Harbaugh.
Everything is Joe Shane's fault.
Yeah, and then
you bail him out, Zion. Everything is.
It absolutely is. Joe Shane, absolutely, but at least in this year, it's almost like he doesn't have final say in the room. There's a lot of other people in that room that is gonna have to. It's an agreement, right? So it's not like Joe Shane's gonna select at 5. It's an agreement at 5, and I don't even think Joe Shane, maybe for the fucking public, he has the last word, but in private, he doesn't.
Well,
and I just truly believe that. Huh?
According to Harbaugh in his press conference, he's not dealing with the business aspect of this. He's letting Don and Joe Shane handle it. So again, if you're Dexter Lawrence, I don't know Donna Ponte from a fucking my elbow from my asshole. I don't know who the fuck that bitch is. She just got here. The guy that I'm dealing with mostly, that my agent's gonna be dealing with, is the hoe that's sitting next to me.
It's the hoe. Mac, any opinions on this matter before you move on?
I mean, not really. I don't like Joe Shane. I wish he was gone. I wish that if he was gone, and say hypothetically we did get rid of him at the same time as Brian Dable, absolutely, or whoever the new GM would have came in and took care of Dex right away, because that would have been a great feather in your cap as coming in as a new GM of the New York Giants is taking care of Dexter Lawrence. So, I mean, that's just, to me, it's obvious. So, look, Joe Shane is what he is. He's a clown. Perhaps
I'll play devil's advocate again, though. I mean, like I get all three guys. I agree with all three of you guys. But at the end of the day, I mean, like Leak, you look at Cam, you look at Dort, you look at, like it's fucking. Then you look at Berkeley, right? So yes, that's more bad than worse. But and yes, he's probably going to be out of here rather than having enough
neighbors. I mean, like, what are we talking about? You could have drafted Malik Neighbors. You could have drafted him. This is not hard. True. When you look at guys like Josh Azudu, we have to bring back Evan Neal to save face. I mean,
that's when it's just debate.
A lot of the
agree on
that. Fatty picks. I'm not just going to give
Jalen Hyatt.
I mean, that guy's still on the roster now. Like,
the pain of Slayton. The pain of Slayton.
Go, right? You let Wan'Dale Robinson go. Those are guys you drafted.
You let Barkley go and you re-signed fucking Slayton.
Yeah.
And Hodgins.
Who's not even your draft pick.
What the fuck are we doing?
And Slayton's the reason why we couldn't keep Robinson. Not want to get into Robinson. Good luck in Tennessee. And we're moving on. That being said, Michigan won March Madness. Mac, I know you're a big March Madness fan. I'll let you begin this one. I honestly didn't watch the game, so I'm going to lean on Mac on this one. And I'm just going to say congratulations to Michigan. That's going to wrap up my take on this one. But March Madness is a big time of the year. And I know Mac probably watched it, or hopefully he caught the recap. And then Adam and Lou, if you guys want to give any thoughts on Michigan winning March Madness as well. But Mac, March Madness, what you think about it? Michigan.
It's pretty good, man. It's pretty cool. Michigan, congratulations. First title in a long time. So good to them, man. Good for them. It was a interesting game Monday night. I got to watch most of it. I didn't get to see quite all of it, but most of it. And back and forth a little bit in the first half. Second half, Michigan kind of really started to assert they will though on UConn, man, and they really started wearing UConn down. Shots weren't dropping for UConn, and that was really the difference in the game, right there. I mean, Michigan was just too good in the paint, in particular, and like I said, UConn just couldn't get the shots to fall, man. But it's funny because Michigan just locked up the point guard Elliot Cadeau, man, for another year. He's coming back next year. It's weird watching to see this breaking news. College players, you know, what I mean, have agreed to a deal to come back to school to Michigan. Like, what the fuck? That's the world we living in sports right now. But yeah, so they got Elliot Cadeau coming back next year. That's big time for them. It was interesting too. A fun fact about Michigan: they were the first team to win to us in the NCAA championship game to start 5 players from the transfer portal. So that was just one of them little fun facts. Even though obviously in this day and age, it's probably going to happen more and more sooner or later because obviously guys are just moving around now for that money in college. Never thought I'd see this day ever happen, man. You know, I remember looking at the Fab Five documentary and Chris Webber talking about he watching people walking around with his jersey on and all this and that, and he can't even afford a McDonald's meal. So this is where we are now, man. But yeah, congratulations to Michigan, man. It was a great game. It was a good game, though, for the most part. UConn made it interesting in the end still because they are UConn. They're going to always go down swinging the Big East basketball, baby. Stand on it. I was definitely going for UConn in this game because of the Big East thing. But, yeah, they definitely made it interesting at the end, but it was just too much Michigan, man. Michigan was just the better team on Monday night, and congratulations to him. Hats off to him.
Well said, well said. Love the fact that you brought up the paid athletes now. I know college football was terrible with all these companies making money off of these kids. Now these kids can actually make money off of the self-name, image, and likeness. And Big Ten, man. Shout out to Big Ten. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. Big Ten in the house, football and basketball now. Let's go. Fuck the SEC. I'm just a Big Ten fan. Go right ahead, Adam. What's your thoughts on Michigan?
I don't have much. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Michigan. I love it. Lou, you want to say anything about Michigan?
I love being in Detroit for the draft, but other than that, boo. Boo, I say. No, listen. No, East Coast, man. New York. Listen, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Syracuse fan. Orange ain't even, you know what I'm saying, in the discussion, but that's who I rock with.
Yes,
so, you know, and I pulled for UConn second. So I can't say congratulations to them when they beat my second team. Boo, I say. Boo!
I love it. I love it. And I know there's not that much to talk about here, but I know the season did start, and we try to cover it all here on Premium Takes. Before we get into the 2026 NFL Draft, I'm gonna pass the mic over to Mac again, and then Adam. I know you watch a little bit. So, and Lou, give your takes as well. Mac, thoughts on baseball season? How do you say it? How do you say it? Like, how do you say it in baseball? I'm not a baseball fan. Like, the season popped off. Like, season's open. Like,
they're playing baseball now.
They're playing baseball now. All right, thank you, Adam. I'm sorry, Mac. What's your thoughts on baseball?
Well, right now,
so long, but right now,
my thoughts are the Mets are making me angry when I watch them right now get their asses destroyed by the Arizona Diamondbacks for the second straight night. It's looking like, I mean, this game's not over yet, but it's looking like it's about over. Top of the 8th, 7-1 right now. Arizona just really just putting it on the Mets right now. Their bullpen let the Mets down in this game big time, and and it's been this so far up and down start for them, man. Just it's too early to to really truly get a real assessment on anything, to be honest. But it's been a lot of up and down play for them throughout the first couple of weeks of the season, man. Typical what you get from the New York Mets, basically, man. The lineup to me is underachieving a bit. Although, I mean, Bo Bichette finally coming around a little bit. He's finally starting to put get some contact on the baseball because it was a rough start for him as well. And right, I mean, Soto is going to be out for a little bit of time on the IL, but it's not really much right now. I mean, it's hard to really, like I said, you can't. You still don't know. It's too early to really be able to tell what's going to really how it's all going to play out. You never when guys start really warming up. But right now, the Mets has just been up and down start for the first couple of weeks.
Well said. Let's pass it over to Lou first, then I'll go to Adam. Lou, you have anything to say about baseball? Just want to check. All right.
Hell no. To the no.
Adam, I know you're a baseball fan. How you like watching baseball so far? Have you been watching baseball so far?
I mean, the
Thoughts
Yankees
on
are
the
doing
season?
they're off to a good start. I mean, they lost today and they lost a couple games to the A's already. But their bats are the Yankees are doing what the Yankees do. Hopefully their pitching holds up. Otherwise, it's going to be the same old Yankees. I'm telling you, if they do not get to the World Series this year, with the staff they got, the lineup that they have, Aaron Boone needs to be fired. I'm sorry. They fire coaches for far less in other sports with other teams, right? And you've got to bring home a championship in New York. Making the playoffs for a team like the Yankees is par for the course. You need to add 20 to that 27, 28 championships that you got in there, And they're not, the Yankees tease you. They get hot, their bats get hot, and then all of a sudden, middle of the year, we're talking July, all of a sudden Juan Carlos Stanton is injured with a hamstring. Aaron Judge is banged up. This guy's out of the lineup. This pitcher got on the 15-day DL, and they slump, and they get down, and all of a sudden bats get hot in August, and they bring it into September, and then here we are in September. They play a team, and they can't get over the hump because their bats go cold like they did against the Dodgers in the World Series. And that one, like I said, that grand slam kind of deflated them game one. And they haven't been the same since. And I think the clock is ticking on Aaron Boone. So we'll see how he does.
And I guess I'll talk because I'm a casual Shohei Ohtani fan, and I guess I follow the Dodgers for the last couple of seasons. We'll meet you guys there, Adam. I want to see that East versus West matchup again because I do watch baseball in the postseason, and let's go Dodgers. Try to get a three-peat. I know it's not fun watching the Dodgers. They just pay. Salary cap in baseball, please, maybe? No, I'm not. I shouldn't talk on that. I'm not a baseball fan. That being said, though, you can't beat them. You're going to say something, Mac?
I was going to say, no, you're too late for a salary cap in baseball. It's not that shit's shit. That ain't happening.
That ship has sailed. That being said, guys, let's open up discussion about the draft. 2 weeks away. I know I know Mac and Lou been heavy giving their opinions on their respective channels. Adam, let's get your opinion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was going to say, my bad. I apologize. My bad. I'm just a little.
No,
I want to talk about. Something about the number 5 pick right now that I want to talk about, and why it needs to be Sonny Styles. Why it needs to be Sonny Styles? Because you cannot afford to let what's going to happen if we don't take Sonny Styles at number 5. I'm telling you what's going to happen. At number 7, the goddamn Washington Commanders is going to take Sonny Styles, and then we're going to have to play Sonny Styles 2 games a year for God knows how long, while he is a goddamn wrecking machine for the Washington Commanders defense. I don't want to go there. Get Sonny Styles number 5. Don't overthink it. Make it happen. Linebackers are important. They are important. And they need to be treated as such. And we need to address that. It doesn't make sense that a franchise like the New York Giants have not taken a linebacker in the first round since like 1985 or 84, whatever year it was when Carl Banks got drafted. That is ridiculous. Sonny Styles is a blue chipper, and he's in a position of not only of need, he's also adding a great player to this football team. Number 5, get Sonny Styles. Do not overthink it. Do not let him go to the Washington Commanders, because that is where he will go if we don't pick him at number 5.
I will echo your sentiments, but my reasoning for Sonny Styles is I need an identity. That guy brings an identity to our defense. He brings the nostalgia back. He brings the pride back to the defensive side of the football. We've had defensive ends. We've drafted many of them. But when we've had a middle linebacker, we've won a Super Bowl. I mean, Chase Blackburn ain't a great linebacker, but he did enough in the game to warrant us a championship. Antonio Pierce single-handedly saves a touchdown on a screen pass that no other linebacker probably makes, but because he's so intellectually smart and getting these guys lined up, he does it. We need that impact. I don't care about Caleb Downs. He's not my favorite. The guy that I wanted from jump or at least close to jump, was Sonny Styles. If we weren't going offense, which Cardinal Tate was at the beginning of my thought process. And then when I saw Sonny Styles run, I knew that was the guy. That was the guy that we needed to get in here. And by hook or by crook, you get him. I don't care how it happens. Maybe you trade up, but if he lands in your lap, you run to that podium. You don't let Joe Shane call you, John Harbaugh. You call that son of a bitch. And you go, listen, I need you here. Are you ready to make some changes? Are you ready to be the next great linebacker in Giant history? A guy that we can hang our hat on? A guy that we can admire to be? Right? We get defensive ends because we've had tons of them. But what we haven't had tons of, linebackers. Like Max said, 1984, Carl Banks. And there's been other linebackers who come through here. Obviously, Jesse Armstead is a linebacker, but we're talking about just putting resources into that position. I know Tremaine Edmonds is here, but imagine 2 6'5" gazelles running sideline to sideline, cleaning up everybody's messes. Dexter Lawrence is in front, taking up a double team, and who's that darting down and tackling for loss to running back? Oh, wait, that's Sonny Styles again? He's in the backfield again? He's blitzing off the edge again? He's dropping into coverage again. Like, this guy has everything you need in a linebacker. He has attitude, he has passion, and he has a real feel for the game. And I feel like the Giants defense lacks, you could have Dexter Lawrence all you want, but if you have linebackers that are overrunning plays or not knowing what the, fuck that they're doing, then that's what you're going to lose, right? You're going to lose that. And a lot of the shit that happened last year was Okereke's out of position, or McFadden's out of position, or the booty-ass guys that were picking up off the street weren't getting the job done. Sure, they made some tackles, but they made them downfield, and they weren't that much impact. We're sitting there looking at Darius Fowles, like, who the hell's that guy? I'm going to have to read a practice card, go on Wikipedia and find a blurb about this guy because I don't know who the hell this dude is because he has 3 fucking names, and he's playing on the Giants after their fucking 5th-string linebacker goes down. We need to add some resources. Micah McFadden, you can like, good player, more of a special teams guy, spot starter. But you bring in Sonny Styles, I guarantee you bring in Sonny Styles, your defense
impact player day one.
And if you listen to what Denard Wilson said, he wanted attacking guys. That guy attacks, bro. And nobody they call him Sonny because he has a fucking attitude problem. Okay, they gave that name from the fucking the Godfather, right? When the guy killed everybody, Sonny. That's where he got his fucking nickname from because he has an attitude. That's the guy I want on my fucking defense. I'm tired of these sissies. I'm tired of getting guys that are retreads. Invest in the position. Make me believe. And we can talk about love in a little bit, but I'll let you go.
Look.
Oh, said go ahead, Hildu.
At the end of the day, so we're all in agreement. Sonny Styles is the guy, hands down, right?
I don't know
and I can agree with both of you guys' sentiments, but I as well have a different reason. I want a defense that strikes fear into the opposing team. You have to account for Sonny Styles, Tremaine Edmonds, Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Darius Alexander. Now, if our secondary can cover for 2 to 3 seconds, it's a wrap. You can't do nothing against this defense with that lineup. I'm sorry. A healthy Dexter Lawrence, a Darius Alexander who takes that second-year leap, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, that front four sounds very fearsome. You add Sonny Styles and Tremaine Edmonds to that, bro, you got problems. I don't see why you don't grab a guy like Sonny Styles, pause, and bring him to the New York Giants. We have been at our best historically when we've had 4 major linebackers, right? 2 edge rushers and 2 linebackers, which outside linebacker, edge rusher, basically the same position minus a few intricate details, right? So when we were at our best historically, our 4 Super Bowls, we had 4 dogs. Bring that dog in here, green dot him, and let him run that defense. I mean, obviously not year 1 unless he's that damn good, which I believe he is. We need a defense that strikes fear into the opposing team. And he's the guy that can do that.
I just love what the defensive coordinator said. And if we're going to let him have a little bit of a say, right? Because, Joe Shane and that guy, they've always drafted for Wink Martindale. They got Shane Bowen here. I like what this guy says. Give this guy all the tools in the arsenal to give you the best chance of being a good defense. Last year, there was a stat that said the Giants were up by 10 points in 5 games and lost. 5 games and lost in the fourth quarter. That's insane to think about when you think about it, that if they won those 5 games, we're not seeing John Harbaugh here, obviously. We probably still have Brian Dable. But imagine if we had competent linebacker play or competent defensive play, because I think a lot of the things we got gashed. You take Dexter Lawrence off the field, they were running right when he left. Once he left the field, they were running right behind him because they had nobody to believe in and make some stops. I like what Tremaine Edmonds can do. Tremaine Edmonds is also older. He can groom Sonny Styles into being that lead dog. And in the next few years, you have a linebacker there. I just want to finally see a not a joke of a linebacker standing out there in the middle of the field. Tremaine Edmonds kind of gives us a little bit of a linebacker there. Why not pair him with a Sonny Styles? Why not have like a Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs type of deal going on, right? Why not have a Carson, Taylor going on? Like, why not have a duo that's out there wrecking havoc on the field that's not getting touched because, oh, by the way, we've decided to keep Dexter Lawrence, who's getting triple teamed, and Darius Alexander, who's also taking up bodies, and you got 2 big gazelles running down and making plays,
Well said, all of you guys. I love this open conversation about Sonny Styles. As we move on, we're gonna do this same technique for the next people we talk about. I absolutely love Sonny Styles. Early on, I have three people I really do love. Love being one of them. And Sonny Styles, as I was big, you guys know how I feel about Caleb Downs. Don't even going to go there. But focusing on Sonny Styles right now, one thing I look at him, basically a machine. You look at Ohio State over the last couple of seasons, because SC fan. We're gonna do it next year. Just watch. Gotta slide in the Trojans. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my offer's gonna be so good. But focus. Looking at our Big Ten, looking at the ops, right, and seeing Ohio State. I mean, like, I can't stand Ohio State. They're just good everywhere. And Sonny Styles popped out when I looked at him. Every time I watched Ohio State, I looked at Caleb Downs, watching Jeremiah Smith, of course, but focusing on defense, focusing on Sonny. Intelligent football player. His wingspan is impressive. Highly dedicated. When he sees something, he goes for it, and he's never out of position, really. Obviously he's gonna make mistakes, but one thing I noticed too is like one stoppage, right? When this team has been bad at stopping the run, and when you put him behind Dexter and behind this line, what Big Lou just said, blockers they can't hold him. He is gonna get there and he's gonna stop the run game, and I absolutely love seeing Sonny play football, and I will absolutely be ecstatic if he's a New York Giant. This is my concern, though. We got the Jets and we got the Cardinals. And if you look at the draft and how it's playing out, the lineman position is not that deep. And when you have someone like a machine like Sonny right there, when you look at the edge position, it's super deep. There's like 10 edge rushers marked in the first 2 rounds. So that's what scares me the most with Sonny is we got the Jets and we got the fucking Cardinals right in front of us, and I wouldn't want us to go up and trade up to get Sonny. I want us to get him at 5. And that's my next concern. Moving on, let's talk about Jeremiah Love. I would absolutely love me some Jeremiah Love, but the problem with Jeremiah Love that I'm having is we got the Titans, and a lot of people's not saying this, but I have Love going to the Titans, and just the past couple of days, I'm thinking the Titans don't really have a O-line. Why is nobody mocking O-line to the Titans, right? Everybody's mocking Love to the Titans. Why is nobody mocking the O-line to the Titans? And that's what I kind of want to happen, and how this draft plays out, right? I'll give you guys my number 1 pick later on in the future, whether it be Caleb Downs or Love, but those are the 3 that I want to talk about right now. And when you look at Love, it's almost as if, like, if he's there at 5, would we take him? Now, if Sonny and Love is there at 5, Caleb, Sonny, and Love, fuck it. I'm gonna give it to you guys right now because we're talking about him. Caleb, Love, and Sonny's there at 5. You take Styles. You take Styles because thought about our secondary, thought about our defensive coach that we brought in. What is his specialty? He coaches up the cornerbacks, the safeties. He's gonna know how to coach these guys. And when you hit Sonny in the middle, I hope that fucking the Jets and the Cardinals take an edge and take your Reeveses and your Reefs and that other guy is slipping my mind right now, the Orville Reese and that other guy. And let's focus back on Love though. What's your thoughts about Love, Mac? But sorry, I was all over the place.
I mean, he's a hell of a player. He's dynamic. I wouldn't be mad if that's the way they went. I'd be a little more shocked and perplexed, but I wouldn't be mad because he's a phenomenal football player. And I know we'd be getting somebody that's going to bring something very dynamic to this offense. But I'm content on what I want. And what I want is Sonny Styles. And at this point in time, it's no more even thinking about it. It's no up in the air. It's Sonny Styles for me. That's what I want. And that's what I will be absolutely the most happy with. We'll be on live watching while the draft first round is on. So we'll see what's going on that night. But I want to see Sonny Styles as the pick. At this point, that's just what I want. That's my guy.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just saying that's my guy. That's point blank and period. But Jeremiah Love's a hell of a player. If they did go in that direction, I'm not going to be upset about it. But I'll just be
Sonny. I love that. Go right ahead, Lou.
Not only that, right? You got to think about where we are as a team. So last year we put up 30 points a few times, right? So we can obviously score. Our problem is not that we can't put points up or that our offense can't move the ball, right? So we have a fullback, we have Cam Scatterbo, we have Tyrone Tracy, we have Singletary, we have a running team, we have a running game, right? We're trying to figure out what we're going to do with this offensive line. I'm praying that they get it right for once, Jesus Christ. But at the end of the day, what we've lacked is, as the conversation earlier, we had 5 games that we had fourth quarter leads and we lost, which lets me know that our biggest problem is the defense. We need to address the defense, particularly stopping the run, okay, and creating a pass rush.
You need more playmakers.
I wouldn't go get a running back when we need to address defense. Because we didn't have a problem scoring. We had a problem stopping the opposing team from scoring on us.
Yeah.
I love that thought process too, guys, because like that's how I kind of feel, and that's why I leaned more Sonny too, because of the fact that I just pulled up this guy I like out of Nebraska. His name is Emmett Johnson, right? So this guy out of Nebraska, he can kind of fill that. I look at Tracy. Tracy's 26. I know we don't have a third, but if Emmett Johnson is there, you know, later on in the draft, and he probably won't because he's kind of moving up. But what's up, Cheeto? Thank you so much for joining, my friend. That being said, we can always get this running back draft is deep. I know Love is generational, but there's always deep running backs. There's always deep receivers. There's always skill positions, right? It's not every day you go to the draft and you see a performance like Sonny. It's not every day that you see how well he played at Ohio State. I know the attention at Ohio State was on your Downs, was on your Jeremiah Smiths of the world, your Cornell Tates of the world, but it was also on your Sonny Styles, and he damn near helped that D win a damn near national championship. We won a national championship. So that being said, let's get Adam's take on Jeremiah Love.
Jeremiah Love is a beast, and if you think he's the best player in the draft, you pick him. As much as I want, Sonny Styles, if you deem that you want to build around Jackson Dart, what more can we say? I mean, you're going to have Malik Neighbors on the field. You'd have Ricard. You'd have Jeremiah Love. You'd have Isaiah Likely. You'd have a lot of weapons for this kid to really grow. And if you saw what a lot of these young quarterbacks did and what John Harbaugh did, it is safe to say that he could do something similar to that with Love, being that, young quarterback like Lamar Jackson had to lean on the running game before he became the guy that he was, right? And then this past couple of years, they got Derrick Henry to help allow Lamar Jackson to evolve as a passer. So if you're thinking in those lines, and that's what the Ravens offense is trying to do, I feel the only counterpart to Sonny Styles is Love. Because if you're giving me Sonny Styles and the explosion on defense, well, now you're going to give me a home run threat on offense that can really change up how defenses play. Imagine now there's 9 in the box. If Jackson Dart is a competent quarterback and he reads that Malik Neighbors is one-on-one, or Darnell Mooney's one-on-one, or Isaiah Likely has the one-on-one matchup, you favors Jackson Dart when he goes up to the line to have that running game behind him and a guy that's so dynamic in Love. That's what you're getting. You're getting a dual threat. You're getting a guy that's going to threaten the defense in terms of how you scheme up the team. And then you get a guy that also can help a young quarterback when he's, if the offensive line is not holding up, guess what? There's an outlet pass in Love right there to take and get yards for you. And I know a lot of people are skeptical because of the Barkley pick, and you really shouldn't be mad at what Barkley did. If you really want to know, he was a successful second-round pick for us. He just ended with bad teams and the bad philosophy. That year, Barkley didn't need to be the pick. He was the pick because they were trying to run it back with Eli Manning, and try to get some magic there. But when you watch what Barkley did on the field, he really made a shitty offensive line look better, because if you looked at where his contact was, he got hit 6 yards in the backfield and still ended up with almost like 3.5, 4 yards of carry that season. And what it did for that offense with Odell Beckham Jr., Eli Manning, it really was a very open offense that could do a lot of things, especially when they're drafting Evan Ingram. Think about that here. How would you help Dart out? Right now, I like Cam Scatterbo. Tracy is 50-50 to me. I think he's a little overrated, but Cam Scatterbo and Tracy, those are your two backs right now. They don't strike that much fear into teams. Scatterbo might, because he might wear you down a little bit. You know what I mean? But after he goes down, or he gets banged up, or he goes out for a play or two, I have Tracy, who doesn't have the same explosion as Love. Love is a game changer. He fits the field. Now, if you want to talk running backs and you don't get Love, the kid from Arkansas is a guy that I like. 6'1", 225 pounds, runs a 4.3. That's a back that I would love to see back here with Jackson Dart. I really think you have to figure out how to build around Jackson Dart, whether that's an offensive lineman, whether that's Jeremiah Love, or taking the best defensive player to take the ball away to give that kid another chance. That's how you have to play this draft.
Well said. He's talking about Mike Washington Jr., I believe, out of Arkansas. That being said, though, let's move on. Let's talk about him. Because Love, what if Tennessee picks him? That being said, Caleb Downs, we're going to say this. We're going to say Caleb Downs a trade. All right, we're going to add a trade in the mix. I'm not trading. I'm taking Caleb Downs. I talked about him a lot on this show. I'm going to talk about him. I'm going to try to talk about him going forward, leading up to the draft, as we preview the draft in this next couple upcoming weeks. But I'm taking him. I'm drafting him. I think he's generational. I think he was the heartbeat. He was the not signal caller, but he was the gel that put that Ohio State defense together. I know there's concerns about his injury. I think he's ready to go. I know people don't like how he approached the combine, how he approached his pro day. At the end of the day, bro, you know you're going. Here's the thing, though. Here's the fun fact: safeties don't really go that high. Safeties don't really go in the top 10. So that's why I added the trade in the mix. So are we taking Caleb Downs if both Sonny and Love is not available at 5? Or are we going to trade back? And you guys can add Delane from LSU, that cornerback, in the mix as well. He's pretty effective. So are we taking either Delane, Caleb Downs at 5, or are we going to trade? Right over to you, Mac.
Well, respectfully, I'm not taking Delane. I'm just not. He's not. Yeah, he's not number 5 overall pick, in my opinion.
Downs a trade.
But Caleb Downs is also another interesting talent, man. He's another guy that will come in and be impactful immediately, right from the door. He's going to be a difference maker on the defense. He could be a leader back in the secondary. I can't. There's nothing really negative I can say about him, but like I said, like I keep on saying, I'm gonna just keep saying the same damn thing. I want what I want, like a spoiled little kid at Christmas. I want Sonny Styles. That's what I want. And at this point, as we're a lot closer to the draft now, I'm locked in. That's what I want in Sonny Styles. I mean, my mind is made up. If I'm making a pick for the New York Giants, his name's already on the card. I'm just waiting for it to be able to make it official. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what I want. Caleb Downs is a great talent, though. So once again, if that's a direction the team was where to go in, I got no beef with that pick, man. I mean, I think he would also come in and just immediately elevate the New York Giants defense, man. So
absolutely. Go ahead. Trade.
Yeah, I like Caleb Downs, but I wouldn't pick him at 5. Is my thing. If I can trade back, maybe with New Orleans or Cincinnati, something like that. New Orleans has the 8th pick. Cincinnati is like 10th. I would pursue something like that, and try to get an additional pick, maybe in the 2nd or 3rd round, and hope to get him there. In that trade, move back and still acquire him that way, rather than reaching. Because as you know, we don't have a 3rd round pick, so that would be my window of opportunity to try to drop back a little bit, get some more draft capital, and add some more value within the top 100 to get some guys on this team.
Well said. Adam, I believe you said your trade. You can have the mic though. Let's talk about it.
I'll trade like what Lou said. I believe like Caleb Downs, I love whatever you want to say. You can like him a lot, but you can get Ed Reed was drafted in 24 in the 1st round, right? Kenny Phillips was drafted later on in the draft. We can get good safeties later on. Kyle Hamilton was 14th in the draft. So what does that mean? Maybe next year when the Giants are in the mid-range, they can get a safety of the same caliber, the same ilk that can come in and contribute. Right now you have some decent safeties in Holland. You know, you still brought Tyler Newman in. You brought your guy from the Ravens in. You brought Pinnock back. I'm not saying those guys are going to be exponentially better than Downs, but I can survive with those guys. What I can't survive with is Micah McFadden, right? Like that if I can get a Sonny Styles, I'm immediately upgrading the position. When I have Caleb Downs and I have an idea, let's say like Bain is on the roster, right? And he's still there. And the team behind us, I forget who's at 6, wants Bain. And like they said, Kansas City, right? Why not trade or make a move to get extra picks in here? Because if I don't get an extra 3rd, give me an extra 1st, give me an extra 2nd. I just want another pick to have in the top 100 to build our team. That's how you get good, getting picks, acquiring more. Granted, I'm not saying that Caleb Downs not going to be a Hall of Famer. Maybe he is. And maybe I'll look back at this pick and say, I was wrong, but the last safety I do recall that was picked in the top 5 was Sean Taylor. And that guy was an absolute stud. There was nobody, when they picked him, he was amazing out the gate. And I'm not saying safeties can't do that, but if you look at the track records, you can find guys deeper in the draft still be good safeties, especially with how they play with 3 linebackers, 3 corners. If it was a cornerback that was higher up, like if they liked Mansour at that, I'd flirt with that idea just because a cornerback has more value than a safety. But if I can get Mansour at 8 or 9 or 10, I'll rather do that and say, you know what, I'll work with the guys I signed here, right? Holland and Rubin and a couple of those guys, and I can survive with those guys going forward. What I can't survive with is Deontay Banks on my team. So if I can get a guy to replace him and things like that, those are to do. So if Caleb Downs is there and someone's calling you on the phone telling you that they're going to give you like Kansas City 9 and 29, or another team's going to move up, well, I'm doing that. That gives me.
I want to ask you a question, Adam.
Go ahead.
So if you had to cut one and keep one, right? Deontay Banks and Evan Neal.
That's loaded. That's not. That's we got to stay.
Come on, Adam.
We got a thing.
Which one is staying?
It's not going to be right. It's not going to be fair. He's going to say Deontay Banks. He's going to say Deontay Banks because Evan Neal is his guy. Evan Neal is his guy.
That's a great question.
I can't lie.
Because he's riding on Evan Neal to have an all-pro type
No
of
lies,
season.
don't hear. If you haven't noticed, folks, Mac and I have an ongoing bet between the two scrubbiest players on the team, Deontay Banks and Evan Neal. It's a race to make the roster. Now, I think Evan Neal is going to come in here and be an all-pro, and you're going to be eating.
Yeah, I heard you say that about a month ago, and that shit is hilarious to me.
Bro, okay, he's going to be sitting there, and you're going to be looking. Did you see his workout videos? Did you see those workout videos? My God, he's working with LaCharles Bentley. Get on the Evan Neal bandwagon. I don't even see Deontay Banks' fucking videos. That guy's probably at
now you sound like Zion talking about flag football. Did you see Odell Beckham playing flag football? Oh,
I know.
Did you see Evan Neal?
Yesterday, when the New York Giants coaches were talking yesterday, I didn't hear Matt Nagy bring up Evan fucking Neal. I didn't hear him mention Evan Neal's fucking name. But Mr. Kennard, he definitely mentioned Deontay Banks' name. He was actually talking about Deontay Banks while doing his presser.
About how he's going to be a bench player. Listen,
So I'm just saying.
The reason it's different than the flag football thing is I'm tongue in cheek. Zion is serious. Okay, he's serious.
It was a bit, Adam. It was for the content. I'm not that serious on OBJ. It was a bit. It was for the content, Adam.
He wants to bring him in after that catch. He saw that OBJ catch, and he had a wet dream, and he was like, I need to bring back OBJ. I know Evan Neal's probably not going to make the team. But for shits and giggles, I'm getting on the bandwagon because for every other shitty player that I've never supported, I'm going to support the shittiest of the shit right now. And if he doesn't make the team, great. But if he does, man, there's going to be a lot of clip stuff going around. I'm going to look like a genius, but I'm also going to have egg on my face because Evan Neal, I can't trust. To be honest with you, I can't trust Evan Neal. Okay, I can't. He has a shitty work ethic. I can't trust. I have a better chance of Josh Azudu making the team, who at least went up to John Harbaugh and was like, "Please don't cut me," than Evan fucking Neal. Okay, he went up to John Harbaugh and was like, "Hey man, I talked to Josh Azudu. Evan Neal's over there being on a silent treatment. I hope he comes in angry." And the buffet, I don't want him winning at the buffet line because that's what he was doing. He was stealing money and eating fucking all the free food. That's what he was. That motherfucker wasn't injured last year. Injured my ass. You know what was injured? His ego was injured. They let him eat the free food in the buffet. And they gave him the Calvin Benjamin treatment. They let him get fat and happy and said, hey, listen, we're going to let you keep your job, collect your checks, and maybe next year. When he signed back, I was shocked as shit. So you know what, Evan Neal? I'm the only one that's going to be out on this limb, out in this trash can, out on this
You're floating on Exile Island by yourself.
Yes, you know that. You know how they have fucking trash barges in the ocean that are just floating with trash and shit? That's me. I'm on the Evan Neal trash island right now. Okay, and I'm by myself. And if it falls through, I'm going to get eaten by the sharks. But if I make it to land, anyway,
all by myself.
This time I've chosen it. I wasn't exiled. I chose to choose the trash.
Redemption Island, should it be called?
Before I was on an island because I was exiled from the fan base, and they put me on that island. This time I chose to get on the shitty island.
Yeah, how crazy would it be for real? And while we talk all this shit about this young man, if he do go out there and shows up and actually was like a first round pick,
my God,
and all of a sudden puts it together and wins the starting right guard job.
Laway and Evan Neal, two big guards, all pros.
How crazy would that be?
John Harbaugh getting the best out of him. Watch, you'll see.
Absolutely,
you'll
insane.
See.
Yo, I tell you what, if that shit happened, Harbaugh would definitely be coach of the year.
Oh, for sure.
Listen, this is what's going to happen.
If this crazy, bizarro world, multiverse shit was to happen, okay, Mandela effect, 2026 season, whatever, like, Harbaugh has to be coach of the year.
You like 11-6? I'm taking Evan Neal, okay? So if you can say 11-6 every year, I can get on the Evan Neal bandwagon. This is what's going to happen. I'm pontificating right now. Sit back, relax. I'm taking on story time for the last minute of the show. We sit back there. We're in game one. We're getting beat up by the Seahawks. The guy breaks his leg. John Runyon. The cart comes out. Everyone's booing. Who comes in? Evan fucking Neal comes in there, starts pancaking motherfuckers left and right. The Giants storm back to win the game because of Evan Neal's plowing through everybody. I'm telling you, man.
Come on,
Get
man.
on the bandwagon.
That's way over the top now. That's way over the top now.
I might have had a few smokes,
Absolutely.
and that's okay. That's why my thinking is
Love
not
it.
there. But Evan Neal has to have a fan. I might write him a letter. And be like,
He did. He used to have many. I used to be a fan.
Dear Evan, I know that you hate burger flippers, but in order for you not to be a burger flipper, you're going to have to get your head out of your ass and start to play football. Sincerely, your only fan.
Evan,
Oh shit! Pause on the OnlyFans.
I said fan, not fans.
I know.
You're only
Nobody's
fan.
paying for his subscription. Okay, I'm sorry. Evan Neal can't moonlight as a porn
Selling
star.
my home picks for $4.99.
Yeah, well.
Alrighty, let's move on. We're gonna do one more final question, then we'll move on to mock draft real fast, and then we'll get out of here. Let's start with Adam. Say we trade back. Say in a hypothetical world, we trade back. Say we pick a receiver in this hypothetical world. I have 3 names for you. I don't. You can explain why, but you could just give me a name, whatever you guys want to do. Let's start with Adam. I got Makai Lemon. I got Cornell Tate, and I got Tyson. Who do you got, Adam?
I'm taking Cornell Tate. I just like the way he moves. If you're drafting by helmet, which you shouldn't do, you have 2 guys who you hope that you get, right? You can either get a Jackson Smith-Njigba or you can get a Marvin Harrison. Well, guess what? I think he's more of a Jackson Smith-Njigba, a guy who's got silky routes, can go over the top. And the Giants do technically need a receiver. Right, Malik Neighbors not going to be cleared until later on in the year, and I would like to get somebody in here who can work with Malik Neighbors, like while they're both young and both have a young contract. Because Mooney may not be here next year, Calvin Austin may not make the team this year, and we don't really have that much depth. You bring a guy like that, I think you can help Dart. So I've been in love with Tate since the jump. I'm going to stick 10 toes down with that guy.
Absolutely love it. Lou, did you hear the question? You want me to
Share my screen. No, share my screen.
I got you right here. Alrighty. So you got Lemon, Tate, Tyson. I like the Concepcion right there as well too. That guy's a dog. Say we trade back. Say we take one of those big 3. Who you taking?
So I want to give you guys a little breakdown on these guys, right? So
Let's get it.
I can actually click in here. Makai Lemon, who's 5'11", 192 pounds, runs a 4.5 as a receiver. Okay, and he's very small. We know that Isaiah likely is going to take most of those slot receiver type reps. So I wouldn't get him Makai Lemon, right? Although short receiving, 93, intermediate routes, 94, deep threat, 96. Okay, so not knocking him, just a little undersized for what I believe the Giants need a receiver for. So we'll look at Cornell Tate, 6'2", 192 pounds, runs a 4.5. This is measurables. Short receiving, 90. Hands, 93. Intermediate routes, 96. Deep threat, 96. So, again, 6'2", still not the big body receiver I kind of want the Giants to have, but still a lot better than 5'11". Right? So Cornell Tate would definitely be one of those guys that I would be looking into. Jordan Tyson, a little too slow, but you got other guys down here. Chris Brazzell, you know, and he runs a 4.3. 6'4", 198 pounds, runs a 4.3. Now, short receiving, 85, hands, 83. Ugh, never mind. Intermediate routes, 89, deep threat, 90. But that 83 on the hands, I don't know about that, buddy. I need a short-handed receiver. So,
Coach.
Right now, it looks like it would be Jordan Tyson or Cornell Tate. It would be between them 2 guys.
And out of between them two,
He's-
who would you take? Say if the Giants trade back and we take a receiver, is it going to be a
Coach.
Tyson or is it going to be a Tate?
Tate.
Taking a Tate. So we got 2 on Tate, and absolutely love the sharing of the screen. Lou, that was very nice of you, and we got to see a lot of things that you usually don't see if you don't know how to look these
The only
things
reason
up
I want
and
him
gain knowledge
is
by
'cause
watching
he's
Premium
injured.
Takes and subscribing to G Nation Talking Sports. That being said, though, Mac, who do you got? Tyson, Tate, or Makai Lemon? Say we trade back, say we get a receiver.
Well, I'm taking Tate because he's a beast. I mean, he's savage.
Okay. Okay.
Proof is in the pudding. You watch him on Saturdays, man. That guy, he's just a great talent, man. And I think he is the best receiver in this draft. I think people are trying to talk themselves into some of these other guys being better than him. Look, there's some good guys. I mean, Makai Lemon he's a good talent. I mean, Casey Conception, he's really good. I mean, these guys are good, but I don't. They're not Cardinal Tate from what I've seen from all of them. They're just not him, and you can never really go wrong. I mean, I know Adam said don't judge the helmet, but it's proof is also in the pudding. You don't seem to be able to go wrong with an Ohio State receiver. I mean, they're just right now. They're lighting up. They're lighting the NFL up right now. Ohio State wide receivers are absolutely lighting the NFL up. The kid from Tampa Bay last year saw what he did. I mean, Marvin Harrison's not quite what you especially maybe necessarily thought he was going to be quite yet, but still time for him to grow. Some more as well. Olave coming off a great year last season. I mean, Ohio State wide receivers, man, those guys come in ready to hit the ground running in the league, man. And Cardell Tate, I don't see him getting any different.
I love it. So we got 3 on
Alex, Coach Ed, what's going on, fellas?
absolutely.
Coach Ed in the building. Alex in the building.
So we got 3 on Tate. Yeah, I guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Burgundy.
I guess
That's my nickname for
Alex.
Alex.
Play devil's advocate. I'm not biased, please. I'm an SC fan. I watched every single catch that Makai Lemon has made. Makai Lemon is the best wide receiver in this draft class, not by 4. Now, Tate is him. Tate is NFL ready. Tate is going to go out there and do his things. But Jeremiah Smith was the best wide receiver on the Ohio State team. So I'm not saying that he freed up space. Tate is going to do big things in the NFL. But Makai Lemon is going to do big things just as well. And I know that Cornell Tate kind of fits our need more for the Giants. But I would love to see a SC Trojan come out here and do big things with Leak. I mean, like, this guy is a dog. This guy has breakout speed. I don't need to go into detail on how much times I was cheering his name when he was just taken to the house. Now, this kid's young. I know some people don't really like the way he talks, but this kid is him, bro. And I seen Peter release his draft today, and he has the Rams taking him. And oh my God, dude, that's such a Sean McVay move. Makai Lemon's probably gonna be. I'm gonna put it right now. First year, he's probably gonna be the best wide receiver of his rookie draft class. The first year, we'll see how the career plays out. Hopefully, all of them can go to a respected team. But bro, if we trade out, Makai Lemon's there. Take Makai Lemon, and the rest is history. With that being said, guys, let's go into the NFL mock draft.
There's his bio if you want to read it.
You want to do the mock draft next week when we have a actual?
Yeah, we can do definitely the mock draft next week.
Figure out what format we want to use, and then if there's a round robin, like are we going to pick the first round for the entire NFL? And it'll give us time to give us some prospects to dive in.
That's absolutely facts. I love that idea, Adam. And I don't feel like doing popcorn reading right now, but I will highlight some of the things it says right here. 36 receiving yards and 41 touchdowns across his prep career. This guy has 26 catches for 1,044 yards, and the guy's Polynesian, so shout out to my Polynesian brother. Y'all can't see it, but the Hawaiian flag is on my wall. And
monopolize the time, huh? My God. Hey guys, we're gonna close the show right now. I'm gonna say, "Oh, I'm bye bye."
Definitely a dog. That being said, though, let's wrap this up. I know everybody on the East Coast got to go get some rest, get some dinner in their bodies, and I got to do another podcast with my homie Raphael. Lou, you're more than welcome to join us on that one too. If you want to talk about the UFC 327, Mac, if you want to come on as well, we can have a roundabout on that as well. Just hit me up and I'll let you guys know. Y'all have my number. That being said, we want to just say thank you, Big Lou, for coming on the stream today. Please stay, don't leave yet. We just want to say thank you, bro. And you guys will see him on more often as we move up into the draft. And he's going to be our special guest that we was talking about on about a month and a half ago. And we'll love to have Alex on. We'll love to have Coach on. Bookends, anybody else in the chat, just message me and I'll try to get back to you guys on Twitter. And if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, I don't want to do shameless plug. But figure it out. I'll find a way. That being said, I forgot my Twitter handle. That being said, I'll pass it over to Matt. Let's end the show.
Absolutely. Before we get up out of here real quick, there is one episode left. I'm going to talk about it again on HBO Max. This show, DTF St. Louis. If you ain't been checking it out, I don't know what the hell you've been doing for the last 6 weeks because the show is absolutely crazy. So still don't know exactly what the hell's going on. One episode left. I think I might have figured it out, but I'm not sure because the shit is that crazy, man. Jason Bateman, the dude that played Hopper on Stranger Things, man, they did a great job with this one. This show is absolutely nuts. Looking for something to watch. HBO Max, man, check it out. DTF St. Louis, man. It's wild, man. If you like them little brain teasers trying to figure out, it's great. The way they did it, man. It's awesome. But thank y'all for tuning in to another edition of the Premium Takes podcast. I am Macdagiantsfan, your new voice for the New York Giant fan. And Zion Zenith, Big Lou, Adam, man. Throw the fours up for our guy, NYG Jeffy T, man. He's still right here with us, man. No matter what, he's always going to be
here.
But this has been another edition of the Premium Takes podcast. Like, subscribe, and we'll see y'all next week.